Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Compact Everyday Carry and Gadgets, and today I want to show you guys all my Smith & Wesson handguns and kind of the reason why I purchased each of them and what was my reasoning behind it, and maybe why you guys might want to go and check one of these out. Right off rip, all of these handguns are great. They all pass the test. I would recommend all of these because they've been nothing but good. And if you know anything, Smith & Wesson is super great product, reliable, trustworthy, and a great company, great customer service, just great handguns in general. And they've been in the game for lots and lots of years and trusted by many big companies and a lot of individuals, especially for the everyday carry community, which is what I kind of focus my channel on. You can't go wrong with either one of these handguns on this table right now. Let's just go kind of through it so you guys could kind of see what's on the table, what purpose they kind of took care of for me. And yeah, and you guys just let me know, like always, if there's any questions you guys might have, just comment down below. I'll try my best to get a quick reply to you guys. And if you guys see anything on any of these handguns that you might be interested on, I'll make sure to leave that down in the description, nicely organized so you guys can find whatever you're looking for easily. So let's go right off rip with the first Smith & Wesson M&P handgun that I owned, and this was the first handgun I owned in general, like the first handgun I ever called mine. Let's move these out the way so we could focus in on this player, and that's the M&P Smith & Wesson M&P Shield Gen 1. Now this handgun, like I said, it was my first handgun. I just loved the way the handgun looked physically. I fell in love with the handgun before I did anything else. I just physically saw in pictures, and I've mentioned in the past I lived in New York City, so we couldn't legally carry. And as soon as I moved to a state where I could legally own a firearm, I made sure I wanted one, and I knew I wanted this one because I always loved the Smith & Wesson M&P lines, especially the Shield. I just love the ergonomics. Just looks good. It's a good looking handgun. And when I held one in my hand, it confirmed it for me that I really liked it. It just felt great, performs great, very reliable. So this is the Gen 1. I actually picked this up in a pawn shop. I wouldn't recommend to buy handguns in a pawn shop. Like I said, this was my first handgun. I didn't have a big budget, and I just got it for a steal. I think I picked this up for $200. You just can't go wrong. $200 for a Smith & Wesson Shield is a plus if it works, if it's a good one. And thank God I got myself a good copy, and I've never had any malfunctions, any misfires. This thing always goes bang when I pull the trigger. Right here I got the Laser Max, perfectly integrated. I think this is one of the best integrations in lights or lasers in general. This thing just looks perfect. As you can see, they did a great job with the finishes on the Laser Max. It looks just like the grip and all that, but it's just a super great handgun. A lot of people had complaints about the trigger. Remember, this is years and years old. Back in the days, I wouldn't say it was considered super bad, but then as handguns started upgrading and just having better designs, better performing triggers, then this kind of became like, okay, the triggers are not that great, especially with that middle hinge kind of safety that Smith & Wesson used to add to almost all of their firearms. But yeah, this is the M&P Shield Gen 1. Great handgun. This is a 8-round magazine. This has the little extension plus one in the head. It'll be 9 in total, which isn't bad for its time. Like I said, this was one of the pioneers for the small compact / micro handguns for the everyday carry community. This was one of those top dogs. To this day, reigns supreme for a lot of people. I still don't mind carrying this every day. It's still a great handgun. And when you think about the Glock 43X with the OEM mag, it's 10 plus 1. So this right here is 8 plus 1. So I got 9. And the Glock 43X is 11 if you write it with one in the head. If you're just going with the mag, that's 10, and this is 9 with one in the head. So not that far off for being so many years apart. Smith & Wesson is just OGs in the game of everyday carry. The next firearm out of all the 4 that I got was the Smith & Wesson M&P 22 Compact. Now the story behind this one, I've told you guys in the past. Ammo got crazy expensive, and I found myself going less and less to the range. So I decided, you know what? I need to get me a 22 LR. So I could keep going to the range because 22 rounds are way cheaper. You could get a box of 50 for about $5, and less than that if you go for like 100 or 200 rounds, you get even less than $5 per 50. So for me, that was a no-brainer. And when I picked this up, this guy kept me busy at the range, kept me perfecting my craft, and just I was able to keep going. And I just recommend this handgun to all beginners. If you're showing your kids how to shoot, if you're showing your wife how to shoot, this is definitely the handgun to begin and to start with, just because it is chambered in 22, way less power, way less blowback. Just the round is an easier round to manage, so it's not going to be too intimidating for the first time shooters. As you can see, you got a rail in the front, so you could get fancy with it. You could get jiggy with this one and add a light or a laser, whatever you want. Has a nice full grip. Just a great handgun. You know, 22 sometimes are not too reliable. I used to have bad experiences. That's why I used to kind of veer and stay away from 22s until I found this guy. This is the first handgun chambered in 22 that I was like, you know what, I actually like it and I trust it. I only had, I think, one or two malfunctions when I first picked it up. After that first magazine, it was smooth and it's been great ever since. So I stuck to that same ammo that's been great always. But it's just a great handgun. Beautiful in the hand, just right. Like I said, it is compact. It's not micro, so it is a little longer slide, but nonetheless a beautiful handgun. As you can see, it does have the old school and Smith & Wesson triggers. The trigger ain't too bad at all. You got nice sights in the front and the back. You could easily adjust. Just a great handgun overall. You could get one with a threaded barrel as well if you want to have fun with it and add some cans. But yeah, that's the Smith & Wesson M&P 22 compact chambered in 22. Awesome handgun. The next pickup is, like I spoke at first, the Shield was the first handgun I fell in love with, especially for everyday carry. And I just love compact and micro handguns. Gadgets in general, I try to keep everything small. I've always stated I hate feeling like I'm carrying a bunch of things. I hate feeling like I have a bunch of things in my pocket, and that's including if I'm riding appendix with my firearm. I don't want to have something so big that's uncomfortable and it makes me want to not even carry, or it makes me have to think about how I'm going to dress to be able to carry the firearm. I don't like that. I like being able to dress how I feel like it, and the handgun fits my everyday style, clothing, and whatever I am going to do that day. If I'm going on a run, if I'm going on a jog, if I'm going with the family, if I know I'm going to spend hours and hours walking, I don't want to have to think about what I'm going to wear because of my firearm. I want to wear what I want, and no matter what, my firearm is just going to not interfere. So I stuck with the Shields. I love the Shields, and I went and got the latest Gen 3. Now here they added a nicer little serrations right there in the front for your press checking. The little fist scales are still the same, but nonetheless, way better handgun. You get more rounds in this bad boy. As you can see, I added the TLR 6, so it's a light laser combo, super nice. And I love the way they were able to integrate this. Very well done. As you can see, they almost try to match the finish of the handgun with the finish of the light, and it's great. And this is when Smith & Wesson came out with what to me is the best trigger out the box, and that's this trigger. As you can see right now, if you pick up a Smith & Wesson handgun, most likely across the board you're going to get this latest trigger, and it's just amazing. It feels almost like a performance trigger. I got the Holosun 407K on top. I took it off of my Glock 43X and brought it over to the Smith & Wesson, and I just love this handgun, man. Right here I have a 15 round magazine, 15 plus 1 in the head. This thing is a beast of a handgun, especially for everyday carry. You're not going to beat this. This probably has one of the best feeling grips without the Hulk sleeve. I added just for a little extra girth, but without the Hulk sleeve, this probably has one of the best feeling grips, the best feeling handle, great bore access, just a great gun overall. I love the Shield Plus. Amazing handgun. Definitely recommend to everybody, especially if you're new to the game. You can't go wrong with the Shield Plus. Now, the latest contribution to my Smith & Wesson line is the Bodyguard 2.0, and you guys know how much I love this bad boy. This has been my everyday carry ever since I purchased it. It replaced, before this one, I was everyday carrying the SIG P365X because it's so small and so tiny, and it has 12 rounds. But this is even smaller and also holds 12 rounds. Yes, it is chambered in 380 ACP, but I don't care about that. I think it's way more than enough for everyday carry. As you can see, the serrations, man, they hit it out the park. Eventually, the next Shield Plus or whatever will be the next version of the Shield should definitely bring this over to the platform, because this is great serrations. The sights in the front, you got some nice decent sights. As you can see, they brought over that great trigger. If you are a fan of the Bodyguard, you saw the first version was great, and I was always trying to buy the first generation, and every time I went to the store and held it in my hand, I just couldn't pull the trigger because it didn't feel comfortable. The trigger was awful, and I would always hear a lot of people complaining about the performance of the Bodyguard first gen. I just physically liked how it looked, but I did not like how it physically felt in my hand. So I would go to the store literally, I'm gonna buy it today, and as soon as I held it in my hand, I just could never pull the trigger. I couldn't get myself to purchase it because it just didn't feel good. And when something doesn't feel good, it's gonna make you think about it for carrying, for taking to the range, and I don't like that. I like making sure it looks good, feels good, because that makes you want to always have it with you. You're not gonna want to sacrifice and leaving it at home. But that's the Bodyguard 2.0. As you can see, I got the Hulk sleeve on it. And just adds a little extra girth. It gives you a little finger groove, so it just makes a great feeling handgun feel that much better. I just love the Bodyguard 2.0. I love all my M&P and my 22 compact, but man, this bad boy has reigned supreme, and it took over all the others. And but nonetheless, I still love them all. I still make sure I keep them all nicely taken care of. I love all my handguns, but there's certain ones when I use them for everyday carry, of course, I just have a little more love for it because I have it on a daily, and this right now is the one I use on a daily basis. But guys, that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what's your favorite brand right now. Smith & Wesson is my favorite handgun brand. You guys know, if you're gonna go about budget and pricing, you can't beat the Smith & Wesson handguns. Like, all of these handguns are way better priced than even newer brands that are out here trying to kind of compete in the market that these guys kind of started, which is the everyday carry. And that's almost every handgun is gonna charge you $600, $700, $500 for a handgun, even when they're newer brands. But Smith & Wesson, especially with the Shield line, like, you could get these bad boys brand new when they first came out for $400. You cannot beat that. You just can't, for what the brand is, the reliability, and just the years of experience and customer service is, you can't beat it. That's why I own more Smith & Wesson handguns than I do any other brand. Let me know what's your favorite brand. Let me know which one's your favorite out of these four. Just comment down below. Let me know. Let's start up another conversation. Like I said, I learn a lot from you guys, and your suggestions also inspire the other videos that I come out with. So comment down below, share the video, like the video, and let's just keep the community growing. As you can see, I hit 6,000 subs, man. Thank you, and God bless to all of you guys. That is it for today. Compact, everyday carry, and gadgets. I'm out.